website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Hey, so how do you learn to bend predictably in tune up to the right note? That might seem like something you have to sit and experiment with, but I have a little method that I use that's really predictable and really teaches you this. It has some limitations to it because you can only do it with some of your fingers. But what happens is once you've learned to bend with your third finger, then bending with the first finger is going to be much easier. It's like everything falls into place when you do this exercise. And I'm also going to show you how to actually measure how good you are, so you can create a little plan and actually feel and experience your improvements instead of it being something that just improves along the way without you really noticing it. So we have here a shape in the 8th fret, the first position, minor pentatonic shape, so everyone can follow, C blues. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your third finger in the 10th fret, and you're going to place the second finger right behind it, so you have some more power, so you don't, ruin your fingers completely, so you can practice more. And you can use this technique always, of course, when you play. But for this, please don't bend just with the third finger, because the strain on it is going to be so much greater. So G string, 10th fret, and we're going to bend up to the 12th fret, or the note in the 12th fret, right? So you can, of course, do like, remember the note and then go there, right? That's one way of doing it. And that's not bad. But you can also place your first finger on the B string in the 8th fret. And then the 2 other fingers, your 2nd and 3rd, in the 9th and 10th. And then bend the note. This is like tuning, and this is where your ear really gets, oh, now you can really hear if you're not in tune. So you just anchor this and play it, and make sure you don't bend that as well in the 8th fret on the B string. And then you bend the other one. That in itself is a good exercise of being independent with the fingers here, and don't push it, don't push too hard towards the fretboard with your first finger, because that's going to change the pitch of it depending on how big your frets are. But so you see, if I can go too far, and the ear really hates that, right? Oh, that's terrible. Right? So we hate that. That's pain inside the body. When you're in tune, that's pleasure. And just that little thing I did there, where you just go a little bit and say, that is what you need, because your brain is going to notice how that feels, how the tension is in your hand when you feel the pleasure. Your brain always does this. Whenever it feels pleasure, then it tries to figure out what's doing that, what's making that happen. And it's constantly, it has a focus on that constantly throughout the day. So whenever you're feeling pleasure, it's going to say, oh, what happened? What happened? And then it's going to, anchor that in immediately and say, okay, that's what's creating the pleasure. So this is a learning experience. And you have to, almost like a meditation, right? And you can do it on other strings as well. You can also practice with the semitone. So just move your first finger to the 7th fret on the B string, and then you have a little bit of a stretch there, but you hold your hand like this with the thumb up here, like a blues stanza. Or not like this, like the classical position. You do the same thing, you just move your first finger back to the 7th fret, and you bend the same note, but only a semitone now. You almost hear the fluctuations or the oscillations between the two notes until it's at ease, right? And then in the beginning, you just do this without the metronome. And here comes the metronome, because the metronome is such an amazing tool when it comes to measuring your progress. It's not about, getting faster. It's not about, I have to learn to speed bend, right? It's nothing like that. It's just when you use the metronome, it becomes much easier to practice because your brain gets into a rhythm, bang, bang, and you have something to follow. You have a path to follow. And it works in the most amazing way. You'll actually practice a lot more, like 3 or 4 times more with the metronome. So let's just say we have it on, I don't even know what tempo this is, but just around there. And I go, I take both strings at once. And if I can, it says 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. If I can, within those 4 clicks, can reach the right note and really feel that I've done it, I'm confident that I can do it. Right? Then at the point where it's easy to reach that note and do it accurately, just focus on quality here, right? Then speed will follow automatically. So if I can do it and confidently and easily within that time frame, I'm just going to up a bit here. And then this is just a little bit faster, which is the beauty of it. Then I say, okay, let me do it 20 times here with focus, right? Right? Once I've done that 20 times, I just take it up 2 clicks again. And I continue like that until I run into trouble, until I can, I'm not sure I'm hitting the right note. I don't have it under control. And then I can go right back again. Go back 10 clicks or whatever. Just move back to move even farther ahead. So you basically take 2 steps back to leap 4 steps forward all the time, or 1 step back, forward again, and 1 step back, forward, right? So and you can see that on the metronome. If you have an old-fashioned one like I do, you go down a little bit back when you get into trouble to practice even more. Take 20 reps on each level, and then you push beyond what you were, right? If you don't push beyond the level where you got into trouble and you still got into trouble, then you just go even further back. You increase the repetitions and then you leap forward, right? Once you're so fast that you can do it like in 2 clicks, then you just take the metronome even farther back so it gets even slower and say, okay, now it's just 1, 2, 1, 2. And remember to stop the note when you do it over again. So now I have only 2 clicks, and now I can take it even faster, right? When I get to this, I get like bang, bang, bang. And if I max that out, right? Bang, bang, bang. And it's easy. I can just go back and say, okay, now only 1 click per bend, or 1 bend per click. So I go wang, bang, bang, and that's as fast as before, so I take it even further back. Wang, bang, wang, right? Get my drift there? Because the beauty of this is that every time you leave your practice session, you can write down, okay, I was bending every 4th click, and I ended up at this tempo. Next time you sit down, you go back a little bit with the metronome, and then you try to surpass your level. And then you write down again, okay, I got to this level on the metronome. And then you can actually see your progress. Amazing concept, which is going to motivate you like crazy. But because then after, maybe you've been practicing this for 10 minutes, for 5 days, or 15 minutes, then you can see how much progress you make. And then you say, okay, after another week, I'll be able to go and just, bam, hit the right pitch right away, right? Of course, you can bend with your first finger as well. But that will be magically so much easier once you just teach your ear and your brain to hit the right pitch and how important that is. So, first of all, step 1, do it without the metronome. Just investigate. Do it with a semitone. And you might want to do it on other places on the neck as well, other strings, but stay, like in the vicinity of the B and the E string, the lighter strings basically. But so that's the first step. Then you introduce the metronome, start measuring, and I promise you'll be so good at bending so fast. It's amazing. And then you can, even though you cannot produce the same note when you're bending with your first finger because you don't have it, you can use a looper. So for instance, if I want to bend up to the E, I can use my looper to just have that note in the background, and then I can continue doing the same thing. Use the metronome to measure yourself, and I promise you, you'll be so good. It's amazing. And it's predictable, and it's measurable, and you can actually see what progress you're making, which is so motivating.
Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.